And we're live. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jonah with High Ticket Breakthrough. And today I'm going to tell you some of the crazy stuff that I learned in my time during while I was Director of Marketing at Juniper Capital Ventures. We were doing some serious business, millions of dollars. And I'm really excited to share with you the 4 business models that I learned about that you can literally launch to earn $3,000 per client or more working only 2 days a week. This is going to be high ticket business demystified. I don't want to waste your time, so let's jump right on into it. Look, what we're going to learn here today is the only business model worth being in that you can break into regardless of who you are, and why so many people fail at it. I'm going to give you a hint. It's info products. Then we're going to go in depth into the 4 info product business models and what these 4 incredibly scalable business models actually are and which one is the best fit for you. We're going to give you a cliff's edge view on what to do to successfully launch, transition, and break through into your high ticket business. So let's just dive right on into it. Look, first, before we go in, I need to tell you who this is for because it's only for some people. It is for you if you are in or you want to be in the only business worth being in, which is the online business world, okay? It's for you if you're sick of working incredibly hard, working to scrape pennies. I mean, it's just a hard reality for a lot of us out there. It just is what it is. The employee working system, I believe, is a full-on scam. People cannot afford to have families and pay their bills and live the beautiful lives with freedom that we all deserve, right? Getting the wages and giving away their whole lives 40 hours a week. It's crazy. So let's break through. And this is for you if you are, if making $3,000 to $10,000 per client while spending less time and energy on it sounds good. It's most people, right? And it is for you if you are specifically open to new ideas, because I'm going to share some gold nuggets with you guys that are going to blow your mind. I'm super pumped about it, but a lot of people are closed-minded, and I'd like to ask them to leave because they're just not going to get it. They're not going to understand, and they won't be able to break through because a lot of it is, it's the mental game, right? So let's go ahead and go forward. I want to tell you who this is not for. This is not for people who are workaholics. People who want to spend their time and energy just grinding painfully, just banging their head against the concrete. Please click off as well. This is also not for you if you are someone who does not believe that good things can happen. It just is what it is. A lot of people have had pain and traumas that stop them from even believing good things can happen. And this is not going to make any sense to you if you are in that place. So come back later. I'd love to assist you when you are not in that mindset, and we'll break through together. But this is not for you also if you are someone who is uncommitted to improving your life and other people's lives in the process. And lastly, this is not for you if you're somebody who thinks that charging high fees and therefore serving people at the highest level without killing yourself in the process is evil. And that's a real thing. Some people are in that place where they think that charging high amounts and therefore serving people is wrong, and they think that it's evil. And so I would say that some people would call you brainwashed into employeeism. And I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's not what this is about, and I don't want to waste your time. But if that is you, then this is not for you. So let's go ahead and break into it if this is for you. And if you're still here, I'm really thrilled to be sharing some really cool stuff with you. So let's go. All right. So this is the only business model worth thinking about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make this a bit smaller here on professional adjustments. There we go. So look, this is the only business model worth thinking about, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to seriously think about them. Don't just glaze over them, but think about this. How can you change lives and make an incredible income in the process? You might not know. And what do the wealthiest people on earth do? Okay? What is the most scalable business model and the only business model that is unaffected and maybe even boosted during times of depression and recession? I'm going to answer it for you. You probably remember from the last slide. It's info products, ladies and gentlemen. What does Bill Gates, who is definitely one of the wealthiest people on earth, sell? Right? An operating system, Windows. What is that other than a software, which is information? Okay, and during the times of depression, some of the people who actually were able to feed their families when there were bread lines and soup lines and nobody could do anything to earn any money, they would create pamphlets. And there's this one story about a guy, I can't remember his name, but he created little pamphlets in his tent outside because he had lost his home. And he developed a massive income selling pamphlets on how to garden or something like that during that time. So info products have been and always will be, I believe, an incredible wealth producer for many people, and really anyone can break into this business. And that's what makes it so exciting. It's incredibly scalable, which just simply means that they can you do the work once, and essentially it's the gift that keeps on giving. You keep being paid over and over and over. You build something and you can keep on being paid, which is really cool. Moving forward, info products is what it is. Now, real quick, before we dive into the nitty-gritties, I want to ask you again, seriously, what if you could do the work once and get paid indefinitely, over and over and over again at the click of a button? What if there was a way to do it honestly, ethically, and morally? Unlike the colleges, who are info businesses, multi-million, potentially billion-dollar businesses, who, in my opinion, are just scamming people. I know so many people who've gone to college and gotten $30,000 or more in debt, and what do they do with that sweet little degree? Nada, man. They do nada with it. So, it's going to be honest, it's going to be moral and ethical if you're with me here. Unlike the colleges, okay? And what if you could be making, and I don't want to offend anyone who has a college degree and enjoys it, I think it's really cool, but I just want to tell you something so much cooler, okay? What if you could be making money, having impact, and creating a legacy while you sleep, travel, or spend time with those you love? I want to tell you right now that it is possible, and I am so thrilled to be sharing it here with you, okay? So I'm going to tell you right now that the info products business is the only business where this is a reality. And I want you to get serious for a moment. Look, in 12 months, if you really did this thing, you decided, you committed, and obsessed. You launched your online digital info product business, and you followed my steps and my procedures, and you were succeeding. What would that look like for you? Seriously. Look, and again, yeah, I say it a lot, seriously, because I gotta have you pay attention, right? I gotta have you actually think about these things. Don't glaze over this or you're not gonna get anywhere and you're gonna remain stuck. But look, and I'm not saying that you're stuck right now, but I am saying that so many of us want something more. And I wanna share that with you here. So look, what would you do if you built an income of, say, $6,000 per month, working only 8 hours a week? What if it was more? Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it even if you only made $3,000 a month working only 8 hours? And that's what more than what most people are making. But I want to tell you, the potential is so much higher than that. Okay? Think about this. How will you feel if you click off this training right now and 12 months go by and you're still in the same boat? Okay? I want you to get ready. It's kind of a harsh thought to think about if 12 months go by and you gave up the opportunity to make $3,000, $6,000, $10,000, or maybe even more. What if you could make more per month, working only 2 days a week? That is a reality for a lot of people out there who've broken into this business, and I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it. So get ready. I know it's kind of a harsh thought to think about remaining exactly where you are for so long, but it's a reality for most people. So don't let that be you. Look. What are the 4 hidden business models where you can charge $3,000 plus per client, ethically and morally, scaling it to run on virtual autopilot? I'm going to share that with you, and I want you to think about those numbers I just said, $3,000 a month. With this model, that'd be 1 client, okay? Or potentially you could make more than that from 1 client. If we're using the very base minimum of high ticket, which is $3,000 per client, $6,000 a month is only 2 clients. Almost $10,000 a month, 3 clients. Think about this. This is the secret, ladies and gentlemen. High ticket. So look, we're going to give you a Cliff's Edge view on business model number 1, which is consulting. Cliff's Edge is going to be high level. You're looking over the edge and you can see the big stuff. It's not going to be nitty gritty with all the minutia because I don't want to waste your time with that. It's already going to be probably about a 30-minute training. So let's go ahead and dive into it here. The good things about consulting is it's incredibly easy to sell. It's a really high growth industry. It's something that people are familiar with, and people need someone to help them do it for them. And that is why it is very easy to sell, because they don't want the pamphlets and they don't want to have to do it themselves. Consulting is where you go in, you give them action plan, action steps, and we're going to go into that in a little bit. But it's very easy to sell. It's a high growth industry. Okay, it's really easy to start in a very simple sales process because you don't actually need any products. And it's also a very stable business when you're charging monthly, which is definitely what I would recommend that you do. It's easy to run, and your clients are typically very happy when, and only when, you select only the right clients. And I break down how to do all that. But the one problem I would say with consulting, I'm going to be honest with you, is that it's just not ultra scalable, and that is because you are there with your clients actually giving your time for their dollars to some capacity, and that is a con in my opinion. So let's break through here. What is the consulting sales process at a 30,000 foot view? Well, first of all, you've got to have your ideal client and your irresistible offer in mind, and I've got another class on that you can go ahead and check out. But as far as the sales process for this goes, it's really simple. It's an opt-in, so you have a lead magnet, they get interested, you bring them in, and they opt in. Then you put them into an indoctrination sequence, which I have methods and procedures for each of these things, and a demonstration of power, which is basically when you show them how you can help them, you demonstrate your power to assist them, and that is the close. Another one is just a simple webinar to a demonstration of power, offer, or close. And these things are super simple. The close is almost always demonstration of power, which again is just showing them how you can help them. There's consultants for every niche: fitness, financial services, relationships, all how to farm, like whatever you can think of. There are consultants for it, and you can break into that industry. This is super simple stuff, although you may not be familiar with it yet, but I do have methods and procedures for each step. And if you're confused about what some of these terms mean and you want to know a little bit more, Google is going to be your friend for more free information. Or, shameless plug, you can join my private Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/ you know what? I'll go ahead and put a link around here so that you can go ahead and check that out, okay? But join the Facebook group and you can learn more from me. Let's move on. All right. So, consulting, what is it like to run? Well, the delivery format is pretty simple. It's just 2 one-on-one calls a month, 30 minutes apiece. We're going to fly through this because we have 4 business models to go through. So those calls are recorded, transcribed, and sent to the clients along with an action step sheet. And they love this. They eat it up. And those things, the recording, transcription, and the action steps, those can be outsourced to a virtual assistant to make it super easy on you so you don't have to waste all your time building those. As an example, so Monday and Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. is when you'd be actually doing your consulting calls. You do 2 30-minute calls per 90-minute block, which will give you a 45-minute break between calls. And your other days are spent as free time, which is incredible. Or you can do more sales calls and more marketing to get more clients. Boom. Here's an example. This is super cool, and this is where it gets exciting. And this is I'll break this down. Look. You charge $3,000 per client per month. 2 30-minute calls per client. And let's do a little bit of math, okay? Let's say it took you a year to get just 10 clients. Look, that's $30,000 per month. That's incredible. That is the power of leverage, and that is the power of being in a high-ticket business, such as consulting. And I'm going to say that might break your brain a bit, which is fair. But the reality is that this is going on all the time. Financial service planners, estate planners, they consult for this all the time. They charge $3,000 or more per month all the time, consistently. It's a real thing. Fitness consultants, they do it all the time, consistently. Relationship consultants, they do it all the time, consistently. This is a real industry, and these are totally standard numbers. So look, even if it took you a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years even to get to this point, would it be worth it? And again, what if, seriously, you didn't even try and life just stayed the same? Think about that. Think about what you'd be giving up. Now, we're going to move on to the next business model. We're going to fly through these on a cliff's edge on group coaching. This is what I love, and I have not launched my group coaching program, but it is coming. It's high ticket breakthrough coaching program, and this is what I'm getting into. So let's break it down for you so that you can see what it's all about. Okay, one, the pros of group coaching, it's one to many, so it is incredibly scalable. It's really easy to run without actually having to work like a dog. When you do this, it can be finite, so an X number of months, or it can be in continuity. You get a client, they pay, and then they're in there forever. And it is a extremely simple sales process, which I really love because I'm not a sales guy. I don't like pushiness. I'm not about all that. You don't have to be either, which is cool. So the cons, however, is you do have to speak to a group, typically through a video or sometimes even over the phone. So that is something you're going to have to think about if you're really terrified about speaking to a group. You're going to want to overcome that if you want to be in group coaching. All right. Now, the sales process is just amazing, okay? It's so easy. One, it's just a webinar. Okay, you go in, you teach them all the stuff that you're going to be teaching. We'll go into a little bit more about this in the next slide. But you share with them what you teach, what problems you solve, and then you say, look, I have a few spots open. It's called the takeaway. You're going to have to apply if you want to be a part of it because really you only want your ideal clients in your groups. You don't want to deal with the frustrations of a bad client. Okay, and I teach you all how to do that. But you take away so that they have to actually apply. When they apply, you get them on the phone, close, super easy. Okay. Another way is to opt in and then indoctrination, then to the application and close. Another really super process where you don't have to be salesy, you don't have to be pushy, and it's really seamless, and the client and yourself loves it as well. So both methods are super simple and have specific processes and procedures to follow, which I love. I'm a big system and procedure guy. But let's go over the pricing and delivery real quick as we fly through these. One is the ongoing continuity. That means once they're in the group, they've got access for life. Two is a lump sum for an X amounts of months, like 2 months, 3 months, etc. This means, for example, you could have an 8-week or 2-month coaching program, if I could talk, and they pay an X amount of dollars for an 8-week access, okay? And that's actually what mine is going to be. It's going to be another option of front-loaded continuity for an X amount of months, which is pretty heady, kind of confusing, but I'll break it down. This model is typically for really high fee models. They do best, again, for those high payment, high fee models. That's going to be really expensive, probably $15,000, $25,000, etc. That's a real thing, and there are many group coach programs that do charge that information. And basically what it means is that they pay X amount of payments for a certain number of months. Okay, so they might pay $6,000 per month for 5 months, and then they get group access for life. And that would be how it works there, and that's front-loaded continuity for X months. Okay, now quickly for delivery, I need to tell you it is best for this specifically group coaching if it is curriculum and milestone based. You're going to want to take a specific group of people towards a specific objective and have milestones along the way in your coaching program, and that is going to keep everyone really happy and really it's called your stick rate. It's going to keep them there throughout the process. Okay, so this can be applied to any niche, but one example would be teaching realtors how to have their first 6-figure year with a specific curriculum and then the milestones along the way. But again, this can be applied to any niche, whatever your passion is, whatever your message is, whatever that is, it can be applied to this here. All right. The delivery is going to just be really simple. It's a how-to webinar at the beginning of each month, which can be recorded and put onto a drip method. So again, going back to that realtor example, you're a realtor and you've smashed it, like my friend Zach Allen, who did, I want to say $800,000 he netted in commissions this year doing God knows how many deals. He's incredible. But if he was to teach people, he would have a specific curriculum and milestone. And then for each person that's coming into his 8-week program, they would have the first webinar that's pre-recorded, boom, live, and then one group call a week to answer those questions and implement what was learned. So the delivery is really easy, super simple. Just that how-to webinar at the beginning of each month. You record it and you put it on people as a drip method for the new people that come in. You have a one group call per week to answer the questions and help implement what they learn. And then you always want to have a members area, which is a Facebook group or an online community. And it's really great if they have a home study course that they can dive into, but that is for sure optional. Okay? Boom. So for the example in group coaching for $30,000 a month, this is why I love group coaching. It is a beautiful, beautiful model. So the ongoing continuity at $2,000 a month, 15 clients, just like that. Boom. How simple is that? Okay, lump sum for X months at $5,000. 6 clients a month only. That's incredible. Okay, a front-loaded continuity for X months at $5,000 per month. That would mean that you only have to get 6 clients the first month to make your $30,000 per month income. And then because of that recurring drip, you only need, according to my math, which is never great, you only need 1 client a month thereafter, which is really cool. So again, this is a real thing, and whether you're aware of it or not, the online education industry is headed towards $1 billion a day, according to Forbes magazine. This is a huge industry, ladies and gentlemen, and I do recommend that you get your slice of it. All right, now we're going to go into 3 and 4 specifically, and that is going to be masterminds and workshops. Okay, now the cool part about these things is they are very common, which makes this a really easy sale, and there are masterminds and workshops for every niche known to man. It's incredibly scalable, and it's a really simple sales process again. So these things are just awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about masterminds and workshops. So masterminds specifically are a group of like-minded people who come together usually once per quarter. They have them for everything, okay? Masterminds on creating jewelry from gems that you find, you know, oh, blah, 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 okay? Masterminds on taking care of your fancy horses at your farm and getting the best genetics for racehorses. Whatever, I'm making stuff up, obviously. And then there's going to be masterminds for real estate investors and masterminds for stock investors and literally just everything, okay? You probably don't know about them, or you may not, but they are everywhere, all right? And workshops are typically one-time events you may have heard of where like-minded people will come together to solve one specific problem together, which I think is super cool. So I want to tell you specifically with these 2 models, the power is not in you, but it is in the group. There is huge power in groups. So when you can use the power of online marketing to bring in like-minded people, that makes them so happy, okay? That is really the power of masterminds and workshops. And we'll get into that a bit here. So the sales process for masterminds and workshops is pretty simple. Both work really great as upsells from the other models, and therefore they're a really great back end. If you're trying to increase your revenue and serve people at a higher level, then you're going to want to start to think about incorporating masterminds and workshops. And I get it for somebody who's just thinking about breaking in to the online industry. This is like getting sprayed with a fire hose. Like, it is way so much information coming in really fast, really in depth. But that's what this is all about, guys. I want to give you the 30,000 foot level. And for these ones specifically, I know it may sound like, oh, I can't have a mastermind. Who am I to do this? Everyone has those questions, and they're fair questions. We're going to answer those questions by having you go into the Facebook group and getting acquainted, and everything's going to change for you here. So now let's move on to this next step here, which is the next sales process, not the upsells, because we just talked about that, but the direct mail process. Email works for this as well, but a lot of people with masterminds, whether it's real estate masterminds, they go and they find their ideal client. They literally will send them a sales letter, says, hey, I've got a really cool mastermind. Here's what we talk about. Here's what we do. Here's how we meet, etc. If you want to know what it's all about, then come to a discovery day, which is again just a demonstration of power. They come to an event online or in person, and all that happens is they are there with all the other people, and they see, oh my gosh, this is super cool, and it demonstrates the power of the group, and then it has a really high close rate because of that. Super cool. Another method is a webinar to the takeaway, and then they apply, get them on the phone, and close. So both of these, super simple sales process, okay? Now, delivery and pricing, this is always the fun part, right? How do I get paid? But it can be in person or it can be virtual. It really doesn't matter. I always prefer in person, as I think all people do, but I've attended many virtual ones, and they are fantastic. They are incredible and incredibly helpful, and the value is there. I've never felt like I've been scammed when doing a virtual event. but typically they can be very experiential, which like Tony Robbins and a lot of other bigwig celebrity type people, they have their masterminds, and it's really experiential. So they go to super cool locations and they do experiences like zip lining and travel and spa days, blah, 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 blah. And like, depending on who's doing it, they'll charge $80,000 a person per year. I mean, it's no joke. These are really going on, guys. And there's also the content-based ones, like the real estate collective genius. When I was in my role as the director of marketing at Juniper Capital Ventures, we were in a mastermind called Collective Genius, where there were some seriously huge real estate guys, and we got to come together and learn from them and have events once a quarter, and it's super freaking awesome, okay? But it's a real thing. There's also content-based for marketing, fitness, relationships, again, horse lovers, garden growers, whatever. Any group niche you can think of will have a percentage of people who are obsessed and willing to pay insane money to be a part of events of the like these with like-minded people. So it's a lot of fun. And basically, you just get them all together, maybe you invite some cool speakers, you choose some cool things to do, and boom, you're off to the races. You can speak, you can invite speakers, but you just really, the power is bringing everybody together and having some form of like plan throughout the day, and people absolutely love it, okay? And they love the relationships that they make, and they love the experiences that they have. But it's really, really common to charge, and this is the low end for sure, it's really common to charge yearly $10,000 per person per year for a mastermind. And for workshops, the delivery and pricing is really a little bit different, but it can be live or it can be virtual. Again, same as the masterminds. And the events have a solution for a problem in mind. That's kind of where they differ a bit. Okay, the events that you have on the workshops are typically one-time events, and they have a solution for a problem in mind. So, for example, 3 days to save your marriage, 1 day to become a sales superstar, 3 hours to learn CPR and become a hero, whatever. Okay, but it typically involves hand-holding, and you actually help them do it, or actually help them come up with their plan to do it after the workshop. Okay, and the breakout sessions, you have typically will have breakout sessions where they go practice with their peers. Excuse me, where they go practice with their peers, and you or other teachers could be speaking in those events and answering questions, working towards the intended result. And pricing typically will depend on two things, and they are not how long the workshop lasts. This is a huge sticking point for a lot of people. They're like, I'm gonna have a 12-day workshop. That way I can charge 10 grand. No. People get burnt out. They don't want a 12-day workshop. Okay? Pricing typically depends on two things: the complexity of the issue being tackled and the amount of hand-holding for each attendee. And that's it. Okay? So let's give examples for each, right? Masterminds, you've got $30,000 per month, which will equal $360,000 per year. Charging $10,000 per member per year, that's only 36 members. And that's totally standard, okay? $30,000 per month equals 330. Yeah, because our goal is $30,000 per month. That equals $360,000 a year. So just for those of you that even confused me the way that I worded that, I definitely need to get in there and fix that. But for $30,000 per month goal, that's $360,000 a year. Typically, masterminds charge by the year per member. So charging $10,000 per member per year, which is the low end, you're gonna only need 36 members. It's just totally standard and super awesome. And think about that with that money. Think about the high level that you can serve them at. You know, you can have some freaking sick events for 360 grand a year. And obviously, you don't need to spend all of it. You can pocket a nice portion for yourself to continue to grow your business and serve yourself and have the impact, freedom, and luxuries that you deserve in life, which is cool. And then for workshops, now these are not typically as high ticket as the other models. They're usually used as an upsell to serve at a higher level and increase your revenue rapidly. But doing 3-day workshop at a price of $1,500 per attendee, you'd only need to serve 60 attendees per month, which is super, super doable, okay? But Now that we've gone through the 4 business models that are pretty hidden, a lot of people don't know that they can break into no matter where they're at, that they can actually launch their own online internet business in the info product industry and start to charge $3,000 or more per client just by getting into consulting, or group coaching, or masterminds, or workshops, and whatever their message is. There's mess to message. You can report on knowledge that other people have. You can report on your passion. All those things, you can start a business now on those. Okay? And you can start making incredible income and change your life forever. And you don't have to work as hard as you even do at your job at Starbucks. Whatever it is. That's the truth of the matter. But none of this information I just shared with you is really going to matter unless you're committed, decided, and obsessed. And I would recommend that you get committed, decided, and obsessed right now, or your life probably isn't going to change. This stuff works when you work it, but until you take your leap of faith and take massive action, you're never going to make it real. And I'm not a guru, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is very hard, but I'm really excited to tell you that if you're willing to do the steps, it's like baking a cake. You can truly have the impact, the freedom, and the income that you've always wanted. It's possible, but it's on you to take it from here. Now, if you like this, make sure that you join our private breakthrough into high ticket community and message me, Jonah Meyer, to apply for, because it does put a lot of work on my end, to apply for a free specified breakthrough plan, which will give you a plan for taking your message, your thought process, your desire, your passion, and building a real powerful business out of it. And I can give you a free specified breakthrough plan if you just apply. Just message me. But in the group, you will have access to free trainings, live Q&As. You're going to get the accountability, which is super cool. And I want you to remember this, okay? Proximity is power. And what that means is being around like-minded individuals, people who are being successful, who are winning, who have the same mindsets, and are not like some of your well-meaning friends and family members who kind of cut you down and say cutting things about your dreams and visions, ideas. That stuff can totally crush your mindset. But proximity is power, and being around the people that will lift you up can counterbalance that and actually bring you into the place of breaking through into high-ticket success. So go to facebook.com/group/your high-ticket breakthrough. Join the private Facebook group and give me a message to apply for your free specified breakthrough plan if you like this. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and peace.